It's time for more fan theories. There were 7 books, so you know these just keep coming. And with the popularity of the series, new ones pop up all the time. I'm Sasha Wood, and these are the top 10 Harry Potter fan theories, part 2. Let's start off with a weaker one at number 10. Professor McGonagall is a Death Eater. So there's not a lot of proof for this one, but not all fan theories need to be well grounded to be enjoyable, although it helps. So the main backups for this one seem to be largely thematic, such as her teaching transfiguration, an art of literally changing shape. Some use this as a way to label her as manipulative.
Perhaps it would be more useful if I were to transfigure Mr. Potter and yourself into a pocket watch.
But the main thing seems to be her blatant alleged disregard for Harry's safety, such as letting him be on the Quidditch team, and allowing so many magical creatures to roam loose in the hallways. But honestly, that's pretty much all the teachers. They all allow Harry a lot of leeway for a chosen one, and sometimes they don't even allow it, he just takes it. Also, this school is dangerous. I doubt half of what happens makes it onto the brochure. Something a bit more plausible at number 9. Hermione's cat Crookshanks used to belong to Lily Potter. In the Deathly Hallows, it is revealed that the Potter family had a cat that Harry used to play with as a child, and Harry ponders whether or not the cat lived. Some feel that Crookshanks chases after Scabbers as soon as she sees the rat because she recognizes Scabbers as Peter. But I have some questions. 1. How old is this cat? I know it's a magical wizarding cat, but Crookshanks must really be getting up there. Also, a cat going after a rat is hardly groundbreaking behavior, especially for cats. Still, it would add some nuance to the cat, and what's a good fan theory unless it tries to tie all the elements right back together? Number 8. Hufflepuff is the Stoner House. Now get ready for this one because it owes its existence to additional information found on Pottermore. According to Pottermore, the Hufflepuff common room is located next to the kitchen, and for many that was all it took, because why else would you put a dorm next to the kitchens? Others note that Hufflepuffs seem generally relaxed, good-natured, and capable of laughing off being the butt of school-wide jokes. Although we don't really see that many Hufflepuffs, and the few that we do hardly seem like massive stoner stereotypes. Are the Hufflepuffs all stoners, or is it just that was the best placement for their dorm? Probably the latter. Number 7. Neville wasn't bad at magic, he simply had the wrong wand. We all know how important it is to have the right wand. The wand chooses the user and all that. So when Neville chose to adopt his father's wand, while he may have his father's blood, that doesn't mean it was the best choice for his spellcasting abilities. In fact, fans note that after his wand is destroyed and he has to get a new one, his spellcasting significantly improves. There's a lot out there about Neville, such as him being the real chosen one, and just generally overlooked in terms of how awesome he is. Number 6. Dementors seek out Harry because he is a Horcrux. Some feel that the Dementors seek out Harry because he literally has more of a soul. That Voldemort's soul is an additional part onto himself, a specter on his essence that makes him more of a person in terms of energy and substance. Both souls would also contain some powerful dark memories, rife for suffering, so is it any wonder that the Dementors seek out Harry? That, or it builds narrative suspense. But hey, way to retroactively make the Horcruxes tie into everything. Let's get even more fanciful, in a sad way, at number 5. It was all in Harry's head. Definitely not a favorite, but a theory like this exists for pretty much every work where it's possible. That being that the entire thing takes place in the protagonist's imagination. In Harry's case, the idea is that he constructed this entire narrative where he was a special chosen one and a wizard and having great friends as a way to escape from the horrifying abuse of his childhood. His wizarding life does have a lot of the hallmarks of a child's wild imaginings, at least at first. Still, there's no real inkling of this in the text, and it's pretty dark. But if you really don't like whimsy and magical realms, it's always an option for the more cynical out there. Number 4. There was already a war between wizards and muggles, and we won. Some feel upon looking into the rules and regulations governing the ministry that they seem more like rules designed to keep wizards safe from muggles than the other way around. Given that the wizarding population is in the minority and the fear and hatred many seem to have towards muggles, this leads some to think that muggles were more successful at weeding out wizards than wizards would like people to believe, particularly in the Middle Ages. These theorists also believe that the remnants of magical words in the muggle world, such as abracadabra, come from actual spells, such as avada Kedavra. In this theory, we already won the war and hence dominance of the world, and with the significant advances made in our technology and our vast numbers, we could probably win again. I believe in us. Someone who may not at number 3. J.K. Rowling is Riyaz Heater. This is one of those fun theories that blends Harry Potter with our real world, casting us as the muggles being kept in the dark about magic. This theory states that Skeeter was fired for being an unregistered animagus, and her anger about this is why she wrote Harry Potter and told the tale to the non-wizarding world, disguised as a series of fictional texts, but hoping hoping that they would be believed. However, as ignorant muggles, not enough of us believe her works to be true. Definitely not enough for it to make a significant difference. This would also explain how indignant she can get when people like certain characters she doesn't, or try to contradict certain events. I mean, if they're actual historical texts, completely justified. Are any of you just waiting for your letter from Hogwarts, or are you happy to maintain some distance between you and magic? Danny from Most Amazing Top 10 firmly believes this one is true. Just throwing that out there. Number 2. The Dursleys treated Harry terribly because he was a Horcrux. Of all the horrifying things to happen to Harry, one of the most depressingly realistic is the amount of domestic abuse he suffered at the hands of the Dursleys. But there is a theory out there that absolves them of some of their responsibility of being terrible guardians. This theory states that they were under the influence of the piece of Voldemort's soul stashed inside Harry. This is theorized after seeing how Ron reacted to being near a Horcrux, and also the decline of Ginny from having Tom Riddle's diary. Does it hold up? Kind of, if you buy that this was an intended plot point from at least book 2. If so, the effects would seem to be very varied, and it could be argued that Ron and Hermione should also be worse to him in general, as they both spend extended amounts of time with him, albeit with breaks in between. The idea of them just being abusive honestly has more impact if they weren't magically influenced, but it is nice to imagine that no one would simply be that awful to a child. And it does bear out a bit with canon, so I can see why people like this one. And our number 1, it's actually blowing up at the time of this recording, Snape's not dead. I just want to point out that Ron hates Snape. Just putting that out there. He actually derailed me while scripting this because his hate was so strong we had to stop and talk about it. True story. But anyway, new theory. Maybe you've seen it. Well, new-ish. In fanfiction, Snape is regularly not dead. Snake bite to the neck or no snake bite to the neck. So after the bodies are laid out following the battle, Snape's isn't there. And some feel as a potions master, Snape would have prepared for the possibility of being bitten by a snake he was well aware of the existence of. And others note he lived his life as a double agent and a spy. And so it's hard for them to believe that he wouldn't have several contingency plans. Is his omission simply a lack of forethought on Rowling's part, or is it an actual opening? As always, if one were to ask her, I'm sure she'll shed some light on this. She loves answering questions and building in her own universe. However, for some fans, this is all they need to believe that he is still alive. And for many, they were already ahead of this theory / already thought this, but simply hadn't bothered to articulate it. What do you think? Is Snape alive or dead? So those were 10 more Harry Potter fan theories. Are there any from this list you can get behind? Are you just wondering why people can't leave well enough alone? Share your theories down below, along with of course suggestions for which videos we should do next. I'm Sasha Wood, thanks so much for watching Top 10 Nerd. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and of course turn on that bell notification so you never miss another nerdy list. See you guys.